Today I am lucky to have a new owner of a Fisker Ocean Ultra come by for a visit. It's always nice to see a fellow Fisker owner. This is also a new color called seagrass, a dark green. We will compare the Ultra with my one and see what we can find. Let's get started. This is Chris, and he just got his Fisker Ocean Ultra this week, was it? That you got it?
30th, they got delivered.
And I had some questions for him. Can you tell me about the delivery process?
The delivery process was really smooth. You know, based on the feedback I'd heard, I was a little nervous about it, but yeah, from the moment it arrived at port, I immediately got an email from the VA before I really even had a chance to think about what steps were next. You know, she filled me in on everything that was expected, walked me through the financing process. I actually asked her, as soon as I got her email, I replied and asked about the promo financing rate. And she canceled my previous approval on the website, and I was able to reapply and got locked in at 1.99.
That's great.
And I really didn't even expect a response at all, let alone an immediate one. And she you know, she facilitated that really easily. So that was exciting just from the get-go. And every step along the way, every date that they set on the website and in the app and stuff, they actually beat it. Originally, they didn't even plan for it to get to the facility until January 2nd, but it got to facility at December 26th.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was able to pick a window, and I picked anywhere from December 30th to January 2nd for delivery date. And they called me and said December 30th they would be there, and it was supposed to be the evening, but they actually gave me a call at 6:30 in the morning and said I'd be there in an hour. So I got up and got showered and took delivery of my car, and it was 33 degrees outside, so that was fun.
It was almost a Christmas present, so.
Yeah, it was incredible. Definitely a happy New Year.
That's good. That's good. What version of the software did it arrive with?
It's hard to say. It doesn't list it in the on the infotainment. I think it's 1.10.
Mm-hmm.
Because I believe with 1.11, there's it actually displays the infotainment version, correct? Or the
I think it's 1.11 part 2 starts. I have 1.11 part 1, and it still doesn't show the software version yet in the car.
Well, it does show trips. So it shows trips and it shows release notes. So, yeah, not 100% sure, but I think it's 1.10.
Mm-hmm. With your Ultra, what options did you get on this?
Not much. I got it pretty bare bones. The fold flat cargo mat and the cargo cover. Essentially what I ordered. I probably would have ordered floor mats if I had realized I needed to get floor mats, but I'm glad I didn't, because the Liner X ones that you have look incredible. By the way, the pre-order has come and gone. They sold out immediately.
I heard the same thing from a few people today, and it's like, well, I think they are, I got notice that they're moving offices, so that there was some delay, and that they're going to be ramping up the production of the mats, and I guess the next couple of weeks they should be getting more in. So
gotcha. Yeah, I'm certainly going to be getting some of those. That's I mean, it's $100 less than the factory mats, and probably 10 times better.
Yep, I totally agree. And basically, how the ownership experience is so far?
So far, it's been incredible. I had one scary moment where where it flashed. It basically told me to charge the battery and showed 0% left on the battery. But I was parked in the garage at the time, and you know, it went from like 50% down to 0 just immediately. So it was obviously an error. I put it on the charger and basically forgot about it overnight. And by the time I woke up in the morning, all was fine. But other than that, it's been really.
It probably did a reset, I'm guessing, on it. I've never seen that. I have heard a few people that have had that, like just the battery just go from like 50, 60, 70% to 0 for no reason. And it's just, I'm guessing a bug, and hopefully it's something that they'll be fixing soon.
Yeah, definitely. I got a picture of it. I'll send it to you.
Okay.
To you later. But yeah, it's been great. When I took delivery, did a walkthrough of the car. There was a small rub mark on the back, but I talked to Steven at King Tut, and he told me to check it with my fingernail, and it looks like it's going to buff right out. So rather than deal with Fisker with all that, I'll just get King Tut to let that out.
All right, so we are gonna compare the one, which is mine, which is really an extreme, with the Ultra, and there are some differences between the two vehicles as far as standard. We have, first thing we are looking at is the brake calipers, and they are, I guess it's just bare metal on it. Compare it to mine. Let's do a quick look here. Mine has the teal paint, which I'm not crazy about the teal, but it is kind of neat though. And since we're looking at the wheels, I have the air glider in black, and he has the air glider in silver and black. So it's definitely a nice contrast. And let's go over the paint itself. This is one of the first I've seen of the seagrass, which is a dark green, kind of a bluish green, would you say? It is a very nice color. Got some close up here. And the next thing that's obvious will be the roof area. I'll climb up here. And as you can see, there's no solar panel on the Ultras, but it is a, I think it's called OpenSky roof, and it's basically the same mechanicals as on my car. It just doesn't have the solar. So it'll open up and extend all the way back just as far as mine does. Let me just do a quick view. Here is looking up through the OpenSky roof, and you can definitely tell there's a tint on here. And during the winter time, we're not going to probably feel anything anyway if it did need to have any more UV protection. And that's the thing that some people are wondering about, if they're going to add to like the OpenSky, if they're going to put a tint. Since it's a big piece, two big pieces of glass, I'm guessing it wouldn't be that hard to tint if needed. Because I know on Teslas have the big panoramic roof, and it's a lot of people complain about the heat in like Florida, Arizona and such, but I never had an issue here in this area because it really doesn't get super hot, but maybe a couple weeks out of the year where it's like 100 and something, but I've never really had an issue with that. So I don't think you're gonna have a problem with the roof.
Excellent.
Mine does have the solar, and they did put, I think, a tint between the lines. It's hard to see when you're looking up through it, but I think they did an additional tint on here, but it's hard to see. Let's see. Oh, another big difference is in the lower bumper area where the tow hitch would go. There is a different cover on the back of it. If you compare that to mine, which has the hitch cover installed. Now I think it is possible, if you did want to get a hitch someday, they could take that cover off and install the hitch on it, because that's an after, they can do it after, and I guess have it shipped to a local service center and have a mobile tech come and install it. So it's always a possibility. All right, both cars are locked, and now we're gonna, on 3, we'll do unlock and see if there's a difference between them. 1, 2, 3. So the difference is there is a light, daytime running light, and the Ocean and the Fisker logo is lit. I don't see that on here. I'm not sure if that was unique to the Extreme or not.
Also, the mirrors have lights on them as opposed to yours. It looks like the light show on the got replaced with the mirrors themselves.
But the mirrors themselves are the same though, right? Yeah. So that's interesting. I did not expect to see a difference in the startup welcome sequence. Cool.
They both have that shark in the windshield there.
Yeah, they both have the shark. We're going to go inside now.
You'll see one difference immediately between yours and mine. That's that swanky floor mat there.
Oh, yes, definitely. Yes, the delivery cardboard. I do want to comment on the seats. These are the Black Abyss. And the very first time I've seen the fabric seats. They have the same shape as mine. I'll open mine up. In comparison, this is the Malibu interior, and you can see the shape of the seats. Has Alcantara in the center with the vegan leather on the outside. And this is completely fabric, and it seems to have the same shape. So they're using the same form to make the seats. Another thing we want to look at is the taco tray. Do you have taco trays?
Or lack thereof. There's not one in the center, but there is one on the passenger side.
Well, let's check that out. I want to pop that open. So where there would be a taco tray arm right here, they'd have a cover plate. But they do have a taco tray for the passenger. Interesting. One thing you have on yours is you have Alcantara on your dash, which is nice. Mine actually doesn't. Mine has a kind of like a faux leather type of finish on it. Yeah, if you want to look at that, it's not the same. I'm kind of surprised that they have different dash materials on the different cars. And in comparison, here is the taco tray on mine. You can see the arm attached near the cup holders.
There are no bins under the front seats.
Oh, okay. So the storage bin. So you just have an opening here. So you could still put stuff there. And you probably could put like a plastic bin. I have something at my house that may fit in there, so I will get you that.
Awesome.
And in comparison, this is the storage bin underneath. Just has a little door, and that flips out. Let's see. How about the back seat?
Inspiration from you with the camera mount there.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. Can I pull down the center armrest? All right. So the center armrest, I was curious to see the difference in design. So it has the pull-out cup holder right here. And then this is armrest. Let's see how that looks compared to mine. Luckily, I parked them far enough we can open the windows, open the doors. All right, so folding mine down has the same cup holder mechanism there, But mine has the screen for the controls for the rear. In addition, you don't have the reclining.
Correct.
There's reclining, which is not a huge difference. The recline button on my car only lowers it about an inch or so. If you look at the difference, maybe 2 inches. Kind of wish it had more of a recline on it for
it's
the.
Nothing like the PEAR.
Yeah. And the seat rear is the same. There's still the same hook on here that's removable. Let's pop open the lift gate and see the difference. One thing I noticed is that I thought this was going to be an accessory.
It is, yeah.
So this is an accessory for the privacy screen?
Yeah, the two options that I ordered were this and this.
Okay.
So this is actually included by default now.
Okay.
This is still an accessory.
Okay, that's good to know. Yeah, I would definitely say that this cover is required because of the way it folds. It just adds so much more flexibility to the cargo area. I don't know if you've taken it apart or looked underneath, but the styrofoam underneath could be removed if you need extra space on a trip. I did a video on that where I put luggage in, and it was significantly more space by just taking out the 4-inch styrofoam.
Boxes.
More banana boxes, yes. Otherwise, this looks the same. You have the same LED lights for this area. You have the same 120 volt outlet and a 12 volt outlet back here. You got your.
I actually haven't seen this turn on.
That is, yeah, that should be on. Yeah, it should come on. And if I have noticed, if the car's open for like 10 minutes or so, that may shut off. So that may be a question for service if that is something that hasn't lit up for you. And then this is also an Easter egg here that I didn't mention, is this is in the shape of a dog bone.
Do you have any idea what this is? Because I don't.
Huh. It looks like some sort of, like for shipping or something. It was to keep something organized or something, because it's thin enough to look like it's disposable.
Yeah.
So I bet it's something that I don't know. That's a good question. I'll see if anybody in the forums knows what that is. A little mystery there. And I noticed you took the headrests off too. It does significantly more visibility out the rear. Yep.
Perfect headrest
Oh, that
storage.
looks familiar. Yeah. Oh, also, we both have temporary tags. I think my real tag is going to be coming in the next week or so, because I got contact from the company that they submitted all the information to the North Carolina DMV. So I should be getting that before it expires, because I think I got not too long before that happens.
Yeah, fingers crossed.
If there were any differences in the build quality. Some people had questions about, do we notice? I mean, just looking at both cars right now, I doubt there is any difference, because there's only maybe I'm a VIN in the 2000s, and this is a VIN in the, what number are they up to now?
Like 8900.
So it's not a huge number between the production, maybe 2 months of difference. So I doubt the company really changed anything. I'm pretty sure all the stampings are exactly the same, all the accessories. The only thing I think may be different is I think they did put in new vents for the HVAC in your car that mine I don't think has yet. So, but I can't really tell because it's inside the dash, but I think you have the improved vents, which is good.
Fingers crossed.
Otherwise, I think it looks pretty identical as far as the body goes and the trim panels and everything else. I think just besides the difference of the interior fabric between the two fabric options. Otherwise, I think we covered all of the differences between the Ultra and the Extreme, or One in this case.
I'll say one thing that I found interesting is that obviously there's no One badge on my car, but there's actually no badge at all. So in lieu of putting an Ultra badge on the car, they just put nothing.
Yeah, I agree. There's, from what I've seen, only the Ones have a badge, and even Extremes, when they come out, Extremes, Ultras, and Sports will have nothing else in the back to designate the trim levels, which I know a lot of cars now are going for maybe a more spare look on the back with the tags on them and logos and whatnot, but I think it looks fine. And we both have Fisker, which is a vinyl lettering that's put on top of the plastic air deflector, and that looks the same. And I have seen people remove those if they don't like them, or I know Sean at Fiskerati had his removed and he did a different color to contrast. And you have, yeah, pretty cool. Any other things you want to see, or
I think
the difference between the two? When you were at the Cars and Coffee, it was like terrible because the rain and stuff, we couldn't like explore and have things open and show off the modes and whatnot like that.
Yeah.
But
I've been just, you know, in preparation of receiving this, I've just been all over the forums, and you know, just
there's so many forums too.
Yeah.
Just on Facebook, I think there's like 6.
Yeah. Just trying to learn everything
Yep.
I possibly could about these cars before I got my hands on mine. So I feel like, you know, that has actually prepared me for owning one of these as well, because there's a lot of quirks that people have mentioned that you know, it's not that there's anything wrong with the car, it's just that's
Sure.
how the car is, right? It's been a learning experience going from, this is my first EV, so there's definitely some new things.
Yes. Yeah, I agree. On your key fob, do you have a California mode button on here?
Yep.
But when you press it, what does it do? Does
California mode.
So you have full California mode.
Yep.
With, I think, so it's Ultras and Extremes get full California mode. The only difference is just the solar roof, I think, is the only thing on that. And have you tested everything is working fine with California mode?
Yep.
All the windows?
Yeah, it's perfect.
I had the issue with these windows here not working, and I had, when the tech came, he had to hook up his laptop to the OBD port, and he had to calibrate these, and then actually he calibrated all of the windows, so that once he got that done, California mode works, and it works every time now. So that's unfortunately that they have to do it in person.
Yeah, for sure.
So
the only window-related problem that I've had is not California mode specifically. It's the back hatch. So this back glass,
yeah,
regardless of how I lower it, closing it automatically never closes it fully. So
okay.
of where I'm using just the button for that or California mode, once it's done, I have to bump it just a little bit more to close it fully.
I know that on one of the forums there's a procedure to do calibration. I did a calibration for the side windows, but there's also one for the liftgate window. So maybe I'll send you a link for that you can try, because it's about holding the button down for a few seconds, and then when it goes all the way up, you hold it for another few seconds. It's supposed to reset it. So hopefully that does it, because I had that on my a lot of cars now. In my Tesla I had that with the side windows. Sometimes they'll just act funky, close halfway, or they don't do something, and you just got to do a reset every year or two, and it makes the windows happy again. But yeah, so that's actually something that's pretty common in a lot of cars.
When I took delivery of the car, every corner had 41 pounds. So that's something that's brought up all the time on the forums, is check your tire pressures.
Mine was lower. Mine was in the 30s, and that was like, yeah, luckily the next day I filled mine up. And unusual that they have the front and rear is different PSI ratings. A lot of cars are similar, you know, have a front and back the same. So it's kind of unusual because the wheels and tires themselves are the same. You know, there's not staggered setup or anything like that that would need to have a different. So it's just kind of, I haven't seen that before with the different, especially like 5-pound difference between the two.
Yeah.
But I'm guessing it's probably the weight involved with the battery pack.
Yeah,
and
distribution of it.
And the one thing is, when we do change these tires, you have to make sure you get XL tires because of the weight. And I know for these, there's only like, I think 2 different, or maybe more than 2 tires that just even fit the 22-inch size. So
I know you were concerned about your camber at some point.
yes, and you know, I contacted the service about it, and they said to keep an eye on it. I haven't noticed any wear. So and from other people have told me, a lot of the European performance SUVs also have the camber set up the same, especially BMW, like X3, X5s have the same setup. And so I'll just keep an eye on it. I have been looking at the wear, and the wear is even across on here. So there was one person that reported heavy wear on the inside tread, and it was like 500 miles or something. So it's mine, I have 1,000 and I don't have the wear. So it must have been something with their alignment that was off that caused that. So
they had a lot of toe in their alignment.
Yep. So yep, but it's like anything, it's always a good idea to keep an eye on your tire tread as the tires wear. Make sure that they're even, and if there's any alignment issues, they can get them taken care of. Oh, why don't we do a California mode, like sync or something? Let me go around the front and close the doors. 1, 2, 3. And we have California mode ×2. And now let's close them. All right, 1, 2, 3. And then finally the roof at the end. Wow, that's about as close as you can get.
Well, that's it for the meetup today to compare the Fisker Ocean Ultra with the One. The biggest differences we found were the painted versus unpainted brake calipers, SolarSky versus OpenSky glass roof, limo mode controls, and reclining rear seat, driver taco tray, underseat storage, and one thing I didn't cover was the digital rear view mirror. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe, it helps the channel grow. I have lots of Fisker Ocean videos planned, and I release them roughly every 3 days. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video.